The Last of Us, a zombie-killing, tear-jerking, action-adventure video game developed by Naughty Dog back in 2013, was already a favourite amongst many, and I was very much included in that. So when I heard about HBO's adaptation coming out this year, I was, let's say, a little bit excited. And here we are a decade later with Last of Us Season 1 finished, and fingers crossed, many more to come. Now I'm going to do my best to try to not reveal any big spoilers during this review if you haven't already watched it. I don't want to ruin it for you. It's pretty awesome. For those of you that haven't played the games, The Last of Us is an amazing story of a now smuggler named Joel, a father who lost his only daughter at the start of the pandemic, and a seemingly immune teenage girl, Ellie, born post-apocalypse, who's never known anything different but this chaotic world. And they must now travel together through the dangerous world of bandits, what seem like zombies, and limited resources where most salvageable goods have already been picked dry. The show starts in front of a live audience, and everyone's laughing. And then a specialist begins talking about the cordyceps. It's really hard for me to take this guy seriously because I know he's been in other roles, but I always just see that dude screaming from The Mummy. I can't not see it. So back to cordyceps, a real fungi that infects and takes control of certain insects as a way of reproduction. Does it make the insect hyper-aggressive and want to attack everything? Not really. More like it gets the host to seek a higher, warmer location before it bursts, releasing spores and starting the cycle again. And no, it's not as exciting, but you know what? It's still creepy, so there you go. Now, this wasn't in the game, but I like that the show was able to give us more information, more background details, that I didn't even know I needed, but I like it.
Viruses can make us ill, but fungi can alter our very minds.
The specialist continues to explain. Now, this couldn't affect humans, yet.
What if that were to change? What if, for instance, the world were to get slightly warmer?
So if that happens,
we lose.
And there we have it. The seed of complication has been planted, and I'm hooked. I love when shows just like to sprinkle in a little bit of science in there and make a twist to it. It just gives it more realism and fear. Love it when they do that. I'm going to be honest and admit that I did Google the show before I watched it, and I was pretty skeptical of the actors. I do remember saying, oh, that just doesn't feel like Joel. I don't know. But after watching the first episode, I was like, yep, that's Joel. Love it. Love him. Love the show. Let's go. Didn't mean to make that rhyme, sorry. Joel is played by Pedro Pascal, a Chilean-born American actor who I can't help but notice looks just like a Spanish Nathan Fillion. I'm not the only one that sees this, right? If you're like me and thinking, who is this guy? I feel like I've never seen him before. Turns out he's the guy in the background that always gets killed off, including that famous scene in Game of Thrones where he's versing the mountain and he gets like squished. But enough about dead guys. Although...
But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your daddy.
We're gonna have to come back to this. Where were we? Oh, that's right. Being skeptical of the actors. The lead female role of Ellie is played by Bella Ramsey, an English actor who is also featured in Game of Thrones.
Coincidence? I think not!
Now, don't get me wrong. She did an amazing job. I just didn't feel like it was Ellie from the game. I just felt like something was missing. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments anyway. Before you guys get mad at me for saying that, let's get back to the game. The adaptation remained really close to the game, only going off in ways that at least I thought were beneficial to the original story. The clothes, the scenery, the music, even the random bottles that they walk past. I was like, oh, I love that they added those, because in the game, there seems to be an unlimited amount of empty bottles just for you to access and use as a distraction. I love when they sprinkle those little nuggets for us to nerd out on, you know what I mean? There were so many scenes that were almost play for play from the game, and it made you feel like you're right back in there, including that scene where Joel's daughter Sarah gives him the repaired watch for his birthday.
What? No.
Did you?
What?
I don't hear anything.
Now, there's a rumor going around that the watch broke and it stuck at the time that Sarah died. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I want to believe that it is, because it just makes the story even more deep and makes me love it more. So I'm going to go ahead and believe it is.
Your watch is broken.
Now that we've brushed over similarities, let's take a look at the differences. First thing that comes to mind, zombies. There's not really that many zombies for a show based off a zombie killing adventure game. Although there was an amazing zombie battle scene in episode 5, no notes. You had explosions, zombie horde, and the world's best sniper. Seriously, thank God Ellie was only attacked every 5 to 6 seconds, or the time it takes to reload. Thank God. I also did like that it featured one of the big monsters that come in the game. I think it's called a bloater. And I used to hate those because you used to make sure you have a lot of like grenades or something for them. Other than episode 5, the zombies just kind of seem to be like peppered throughout the series. And they actually didn't even seem like the biggest threat. If anything, the other people and other clans seemed to pose way more of a danger. And as someone who gets super jumpy at horror themes, I was actually really happy with the zombie to story ratio. I was like, cool, there's zombies, they're awesome. But the series had more emphasis on the story and the character development to the actual just jump scares of the zombies, because that's what I liked about the game. Is I loved the story. In fact, there was even parts when I'd be playing the game that I had to like pass a remote on and just hide under a pillow because I was too scared, but I still wanted to see what happened, you know? Another difference that I noticed is there wasn't any spores. There was just the zombies were connected through like tendrils in the ground. Ellie was supposed to be immune to that and everyone else put masks on. I didn't actually mind that. I mean, if anything, why would you hide that face? So I'm okay with the fact there was no spores. Ooh, and I also noticed they had like these tendrily things that come out of their mouth, all like creepy like. So the zombies didn't rely on just biting people to infect them, which gives the show like another edge of uniquely creepy vibes. Now, many of you probably already know that some of the voice actors that worked with the game made appearances on the show, which made it feel just so much more nostalgic and like the game was really coming alive. So let's take a look at who did what. Got to start with the original actor for Joel, Troy Baker, who didn't take on the lead role in the series, but he did make an appearance as James, the second in command in a survivor camp that we encounter in episode 8, season 1. You had Joel's brother Tommy, who was voiced by Jeffrey Pierce, played Perry, the right-hand man to the leader of the resistance. You had the voice actor for Ellie, who was played by Ashley Johnson. She made her appearance as Ellie's mother in the finale. And when she talks, you can really hear the original character, which just gave me warm fuzzies.
Yeah, you tell her. You fucking tell Nellie.
And I'm really glad they just didn't go ahead and put one of those chest straps on her and have her play a 14-year-old girl, because I'm a 90s baby and I grew up watching all these movies about high school and college where they have people that are way past their teenage years playing the role.
I've never even been kissed.
Now, there was one actor that had the same role in the game and the series, and that was Merle Dandridge. I really hope I said that right. And she played Marlene, the leader of the Fireflies, or rebels of Fedra, which is basically what's left of the military in like this post-apocalyptic world. I want to quickly touch on the apocalyptic Brokeback Mountain episode. Although controversial, and some people saying it doesn't have much to do with the main story, I thought I gave a deep look into a different perspective of what life could be like in a post-society. Through the series, you see people surviving in really different ways. Some turn to smuggling, like Joel and Tess. People living in fear in a kill or be killed world run by corruption. Those who feel forced into cannibalisms. And then here we have this seemingly normal guy that's almost unaffected of what's happening in the world. He's got electricity, he's got hot water, and fine dining. And then he comes across another survivor and they share this love story, growing their own produce, upkeeping their own little town, and just making the most out of life. And even though I wish it didn't have to make me cry, it did a little bit. It was really nice to see that there was almost hope to still find happiness and some kind of normality. So for that reason, I am glad they did this episode. I know it's a bit of a filler because in reality, Joel just needs a battery and he does end up getting one. Could have fit more of the original story in, but I liked that little offset from the story. It gives you basically another perspective of different ways of people surviving after society. So for that, I'm glad they put it in. And he's an awesome actor, so I like seeing him. On that emotional note, I think that's it for me. To summarize everything, I think HBO did an amazing job summarizing The Last of Us and the essence that was in it. It gave us a whole new perspective, and it took me right back to playing the game and the warm fuzzies that I had when I played it. So definitely a big thumbs up for me. If you did enjoy this review and you made it to the end, thank you. But also, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Helps me out, and then I can keep making videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye!